Hello everyone, welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, keeping me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome. Remember to like the video, subscribe, share, and leave your comments. For my subscribers, welcome back, as well as my regular viewers, welcome back to you too. And you know the ropes, right? You're going to like the video from now on, share, and then you rejoin me so that we can have a fulsome discussion uninterrupted. And I'm telling you, there are some persons who are going to be laughing and happy, and there are some persons who are going to be crying and sad, and there are some persons who are going to be perplexed. When you hear what I have to tell you tonight, yes, it's night now. You can hear the cricket and the toads out there. Yes. It's going to surprise you a great deal. So, without further ado, let me get on with business. So, as you can all imagine, everyone is still looking at this Integrity Commission report into Andrew Holness's business. Yes. And it seems as if every time I look at it in any event, there are new stories coming up, new things that jump out at you. Even though you've seen it before, it's amazing, when something comes up again. So what came up this time around? Well, you will recall that the Director of Information recommended that the report be sent to the Financial Investigation Division. Is that what it's called? Yes, I do believe, the FID. And one of the reasons why he recommended that the report be forwarded to them for investigation is to do with what he called the complex interplay between Holness, Imperium, Estate Bridge, and Positive Media. He says the Director of Investigation examined the intercompany financial transactions and commissioned an independent forensic examination to, among other things, determine the true value of the investments made by Holness in the 3 associated companies and the sources of funds for such investments. Him couldn't do it. He went and find somebody a foreign to do it for him. And we have the FID who could have done it for him, but he decided to go foreign. Maybe he didn't trust the FID, so he decided to take the matter abroad to be investigated by what he called independent forensic expert. You see, that's probably why it was never sent to the FID in the first place. Okay, so let us continue. The forensic examination commenced on June 9, 2023. And then there's a table 15 and 16 below, provides summaries of the transactions. We're going to go to that briefly and then return. So here is table 17. Basically, it says here summation of intercompany transactions between January 1, 2020 and June 13, 2023. I want to pay close attention to the date. Remember now, it's January 2020 to June 2023. And you see the 3 companies, and he's saying the total intercompany deposit or withdrawals is in the first column. Then it refers to the intercompany transactions between the companies and Andrew Holness. Then you have the intercompany transfers with Estate Bridge, intercompany transfers with Imperium, and intercompany transfers with Positive Media. Now he sets out the inter-network deposits and withdrawals for each of the group and came up with a conclusion that there were $473 million deposits between the companies and 472 withdrawal that you heard Mark and other people talking about. It was on this basis that he said that the matter should be transferred over to the FID for them to do some more investigations. All right, but let me now return to what he had said before, and then we'll continue. So the Director of Investigation continues at 5.8.142, where he says, during the course of the forensic examination, the examiner data mined a total of 33 bank statements relating to the three companies' accounts activities within three financial institutions, namely NCB, NCB Capital Market, and Barita. What is he saying? The investigator that he put on the job looked at 33 statements which were issued by NCB, Capital Market, and Barita for the three companies. That's what it's saying. The data mining of those 33 bank statements showed that there were 753 deposits into the 9 accounts and 1,607 withdrawals from said accounts. Now, you remember Mark Golding telling you that amounted to 4 transactions per day. No. If you were taking it to mean, Mark, that these transactions took place within 1 year, yes. But unfortunately, Mark, it was from 2020 to 2023, so it's over a 3-year period, which means that there were, on average, there were 16 withdrawals per month and 8 deposits per month per company, right? When you add the 753 to the 1,607, you get 2,360. When you divide that by the 3 companies, that's 786 transactions over the 3-year period. So when you divide that now by, well, I had actually divided it by 33 months because the companies actually started from, the first one started September 2020. So I divided it by 33 months. And when you do, what you get is 8 deposits per month and 16 withdrawals per month per company. Doesn't look so bad now, does it? No. So let me continue. So, having gone through all of what was deposited in those 9 accounts and withdrawn, the Director of Investigation is saying that the total of these transactions was 473 million intercompany deposits and 427 million intercompany withdrawals were analyzed. I want you to listen now, Okay. The questions around the operations and funding of the 3 companies with which Mr. Holness is associated will also need to be resolved. Intercompany transactions among the companies were found to be as follows. A. Total deposit 473 million and total withdrawals 427 million. The interplay between Positive Media and Imperium is of particular concern. You hear that? Positive Media, the interplay between them, and Imperium is of particular concern. All right, we'll soon see if there was any cause for concern. Anyway, he says, as will be seen below, deposits totaling 52.9 million were made to Positive Media's accounts over the relevant period between 2020 and 2023. The breakdown is as follows. Imperium, let's see what it says here. Deposits, right? Imperium, 51.3 million, and Positive Media, intra-account transfers. I want to pay attention to this word now. You have intercompany, which means between Imperium and Positive Media, and then you have intra-account transfers, which is Positive moving money from one of their accounts to another account. That is what is known as intra-account transfers. And they say that that would be 1.5 million. It says, over the same period, withdrawals were made from the accounts of Positive Media in the sum of 71.7 million. The breakdown of the reference withdrawals is as follows. So, withdrawal was made for the benefit of Imperium to the tune of $70 million. And Positive, hear it again, Positive Media, intra-account transfers. So it's another transfer where they move money from one of their accounts to another of their accounts. And the amount of money that they had moved is 1.6 million. So now, the moment we have all been waiting for. How many of you guessed? How many of you have guessed what I'm coming with? Put it in the comment section. Yeah, you guys are very bright, and I know you guessed. I know you saw it. I know you saw it. I just feel it in my bones. But let me get on with it for those who may not have seen it. Remember now, they are saying that these three companies and Andrew Holness have been making what they would suggest are some little funny business of one. We notice that these three companies depositing and withdrawing money from each other over the period of time. 753 deposits, 1,607 withdrawals, and we need for bringing in FID to investigate. But they can only do so by showing that there's a large amount of money, which makes it worth the while of the FID to investigate. I won't put it any higher than that. So, by using the intercompany transactions, both deposits and withdrawals, and couple that with the intra-banking transactions, where one company is taking money out of their own account and shifting it into another of their own account, they couple that and call the whole thing intercompany transaction. And by doing so, what they did was to inflate the amount of deposits that were made intercompany and the amount of withdrawals that were made intercompany. I wonder if you're following me. Are you following me? Because if you're not following, let me give you the exact proof of what they did. Look in the column now that you see with red. You see it says intercompany transfers. This is for Positive Media. Look at the bottom where you see the highlight in purple, which surrounds with purple. Where the two intersect at the end, near the bottom right, you will see that Positive Media. It's an intercompany transfer, they call it, You see the heading, intercompany transfer. And yet on the Positive Media, it's an inter-network deposits of 1.5 million and inter-network withdrawal of 1.6 million in their own account, Right? That's what they did. Let me show you again. As you can see, the second column from the right is listen to what they're saying, intercompany transfers. This is Imperium, right? And where you see it highlighted in the purple box, all the way over where they intersect, you see it says Imperium inter-network deposit of 128 million and inter-network withdrawals of 130 million. So they're taking 128 from their own account and then deposit 130 million over the period. And this is what they are calling intercompany transfer. When the company is transferring money from one of them bank account into them other bank account, they call it intercompany, right? And then claim is $250 million that was deposited and $225 million withdrawn from Imperium's account. But let me continue. Here is the final account now. Intercompany transfers, Estate Bridge. And the top row, you see that it's Estate Bridge, right? So Estate Bridge inter-network deposits. And then you go right over to where it says Estate Bridge again. It's 125 million deposit and 116 million withdrawn, right? So we are now back to table 17. And what I will do for you now is to point out the mistakes that were made in the calculations. What did I call it? The maths, not mathsing? Yes. On the screen, you see Estate Bridge. And the total amounts of intercompany deposits is said to be 170 million. Look across, you will see that on the Estate Bridge, they added Estate Bridges transfers from one of their accounts to the other one. That is not supposed to be there. That is not an intercompany transfer. Intercompany means transfer between companies. Estate Bridge is a company, Positive Media is a company, and Imperium is a company. What is known as intercompany transfers is transfers between the three companies. And therefore, when they added the transfers of each of those companies between their own bank accounts, that was an incorrect addition. If they are talking about the transactions between the companies, they can only refer to the transactions between the companies. What the hell is the company's transfer between itself to do with the transfer with another one? So what they did was to present faulty calculations, inflate the amount of intercompany transactions by putting this false statement, and then turn around now and say they're going to refer the matter to the FID. And the effect of what they're doing is that they're delaying the Prime Minister's statutory declaration from being certified further. One must wonder if all of this is by design by these two men. You mean to tell me that between them, the commissioners, the executive director, nobody noticed it? Nobody checked the figures and realized that they were adding in something that they are not supposed to add in? Let me tell you what the true figure is. When you take out the intra-bank transfers, which is the company taking money out of one of their accounts and transferring it into another account. Usually it's from foreign exchange to Jamaican dollars to foreign exchange, or they may have been transferring money from the checking account to the savings and savings to checking. That has nothing to do with the other companies and therefore should not be added. So when you look now at, we begin with Estate Bridge. They added 125 million and inflate the figure to 170 million. When you take out the 125.7 million intrabank deposits that Estate Bridge made into one of its accounts, take that out of the 170 million. The intercompany transactions for the 3-year period work out to 44.3 million. That's the true figure. When you look at Imperium and you take out from Imperium the 128 million intra-bank transfer into their own bank account, when you take that out from the 250 million, the intercompany transfers deposits were 122 million. So it's 122 million deposits were made by Positive Media and Estate Bridge and Andrew Holness into the account of Imperium. When you look now at Positive Media, for Positive Media, the 1.5 million that they made into their own account, the deposits were 51 million, and that was from Imperium. Imperium made a deposit of $51 million into Positive Media's account, right? When you add them up, the total of the intercompany deposits were 217.7 million, not the 473 million. That's false. So make a note of it now. It's 217 million. That was the intercompany deposits. When it comes now to the withdrawals for Estate Bridge, you're going to have to take out the 116.8 million intra-bank withdrawal that they made from their own account and put it in another account of theirs. You take that 116 million out because it should not be there. It has nothing to do with the other companies. And what you have left is 12.5 million and not the 129 million that they had. Right? They added the 12 million to 116 and then claim that 129 million was transferred between the companies. Damn lie. It's only 12.5 million, right? Then now, let's see what's next. Imperium. They said that 225 million was withdrawn intercompany. 130.7 was Imperium drawing money from itself and putting in another of Imperium's account. So therefore, only 95 million was intercompany, not the 225 million that they claim. Damn lie. Then now, the final one now is Positive Media. Positive Media made an own interbank transaction and withdrawal of 1.6 million. We're going to take it out of the 71 million that they claim was intercompany, right? And then what you have now is 70 million that was withdrawn by Imperium. So that one went to the benefit of Imperium. So when you look at the overall true figure of the intercompany play between the three companies and Holness, the total amount that was withdrawn intercompany was 177.9 million and not the 472 million that they claim. Damn lie. So what it is that we have then? The total deposits intercompany was 217.7 million and the total withdrawals intercompany was 177.9 million. And these transactions between companies took place between 2020 and 2023, right? Now, the overstating of the figures, we're going to look at that now. How much was the figures that they put out and all this excitement that was created to have people hint about money laundering and all them kind of something there, right? About the companies moving money between them one another. 400 million, you remember that? Yes, an overstatement. To what extent though? For the interbank activities, where the companies were moving money from one of them account to another one of them account, it was 255 million deposits that were made interbank. That's how much the figure was overstated by. And as for the withdrawal, it's $294 million that were withdrawn interbank. That's how much the figure was overstated. Now, can you imagine what a laughing stock the Integrity Commission is going to be when the people at the FID sit down and start to do these calculations themselves and realize that they are going to, or they are being asked to expend resources to look into interplay between companies for 3-year period of 177 million and not the 472 million that they were told. And when them look and see that the intercompany withdrawals was actually 217 and not the 473 that they were told. And when they look and see that these people at the Integrity Commission employed, the Director of Investigation, don't know what the hell he's doing. How can you make such a dreadful mistake? How can the executive director not seeing it? How you can have commissioners who not see it, including the Auditor General? Who read the report before it was sent out of the Integrity Commission and tabled in the Parliament? Who read it? And it seemed as if this report was hastily done. I mean, what was the reason for them to put this report before the Parliament when the Parliament was not in session? They could have taken the time and go through the report and read it. Not only were there faulty figures, as we just discovered, right? There were faulty reasoning too. And this is only one of several examples of faulty reasoning. It is because of the faulty reasoning why they ended up putting inter-banking transactions and add it up as if it's inter-company transaction. You think them don't know what they're doing? And if they don't know what they're doing, it means they're damn incompetent. This report needs to be withdrawn. They need to withdraw it, and they need to go back through it, and they need to make sure that everything in it is accurate. And what is more, this faulty reasoning, which ended up claiming that there are 473 deposits and 472 withdrawals, right? This now, and these two are the two men, insisting. As a matter of fact, one of the reports that went to Parliament had words in it to the effect of, please be reminded that the Director of Information and Complaints need to be satisfied. In other words, him said that this thing must go to the FID, and he's not going to certify the Prime Minister's declaration unless it go to the FID for them to do their investigation. Do their investigation on what? On the basis that there's an enormous amount of company interplay that must be studied and figured out. You know what the referral was about? They must go and find out who are the minority shareholders in these companies and what their contributions were. What's the extent of their contribution? Yes, which part them reach. Till then come with them bogus figures, right? And they had the opportunity to use the FID, They had the opportunity to use the FID. Instead, they decide to go foreign. And when the foreigner don't come with nothing and them don't come with nothing, then them go to FID. This has to be malice. This has to be something more than just an investigation. This is not an investigation. This is something else that is going on. And I'm very happy that the commissioners have been called before the Parliament in another 2 weeks, and I'm dying to see what going to come out of that, because I know those two gentlemen going to have to be there with them to answer questions. Who the hell read the report before it went out? Who read it? If you want my view for this, heads must roll. This level of incompetence is not acceptable at all. Uno hold up the man's statutory declaration and have Mark Golding, that Englishman, prims up into a Parliament with him illegal self. Yes, that same one. Up and down the country talking about how the man, Prime Minister, statutory declaration cannot be certified until now because on the inside they hold it up with a bogus figure. And when you realize you have to certify the man's declaration, you now find another reason Find another reason to send it somewhere else to hold it up for another 1 or 2 years. On the basis of the bogus figures, what do you expect people to think? What do you expect the labor right them out there to think about you? Uno playing politics. That's what I'm going to think. And they've been saying it all along. So the whole owner in the Integrity Commission at PMP and one to see Andrew Holness go down. That's what they have been saying. And what do you think they're going to say now? When they realize that the basis of holding up the man's statutory declaration, there is nothing in the way now. Nothing, I don't know what to dig up. And then one must put it a little further now in order to prevent the statutory declaration from being certified. That is only excuse on the basis of faulty figures, bogus figures. One must have known what one was doing. One couldn't be that dumb. My Golding is that dumb, but not one. One could never be that stupid. What are you all trying to do? What are you trying to do? Delay and delay the certification of the Prime Minister's statutory declaration until election, until after the election. You're trying to find an excuse and a reason not to certify the declaration, because you all know that this will be the major plank by Bunting and Golding during the general election to find themselves into Jamaica House. And that is what this is all about. Is which one of you in the Integrity Commission they managed to buy? That's their playbook, the Bunting and Golding playbook. 650 million they spent to take over the PMP. If they going into Jamaica House is not a maybe. For them it's a must. And if they have to corrupt any institution or any person to find themselves in Jamaica House, that's exactly what they will do. And it would appear that somebody or some number of persons in the Integrity Commission is attempting to help them to get into Jamaica House by foul means. They need to be found, and they need to be found quickly. Anyway, folks, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and walk good.